Welcome to the Rad Dad Redemption Podcast. Here's your hosts, Drew and Dex.
All right, we're back. We took a short hiatus, we'll call it. A sabbatical.
A little sabbatical. I mean, I think it gets tougher to record in the summer and just as our lives get busier. I thought you were talking about the fact that we basically just recorded a good portion of the episode in our minds prior to hitting the play button here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We always sit down and like have a background chat before we hit the record button. So I feel like we already have like an episode, but like the record button was not played. Also, I don't know if we'd ever post that. We were just talking about that. Like, that discussion is...
We've reached the ceiling.
Big time NSFW.
NSFW. We can't. Yeah, anyway.
So, anyway. Can I pick up on, like... So, last episode, we left off with the AI-generated parenting topics.
Yeah.
And I actually ran into a situation this week, and it's like parenting situation. And I was like, I want to bring this up on the podcast, see what the move is.
I thought you were going to say I want to bring my good friend ChatGPT on this parenting issue.
Hey, ChatGPT, what should I do?
How do I connect with my kids?
How do I reach these kids?
Yeah.
No, so we're going for our nightly walk, the family walk.
Good for you
Very
guys.
wholesome. Very wholesome. It's really just to tire the kids out, get them some fresh air before bedtime.
Yeah.
But so we're out for this family walk, and we're at the park just down the street from our house. And Kennedy's playing, and Kaylee's on the baby swing or whatever, the toddler swing. And this little girl walks up to me, like couldn't be older than 3 years old. She walks up to me and she's like, "Can you help me on the swing?" I'm like looking around, and I'm like there's no one else around. It's just our family and this random girl that just walked up. I was like, "Where's your mom and dad?" She's like, "Oh, I'm with my grandma, and she's over like down the street." I was like, "Okay, like." Where's your grandma? Like this.
Why'd grandma leave you here?
Yeah. And
what did you do?
And so I'm like looking around, and she's like, "Can you please help me on the swing?" And she's being like very sweet, but I was like, and I'm like looking at Alicia, who's got Kaylee now, and I'm just like, what do I do here? And this girl's like getting like really sad that she can't be on the swing. So I was like, okay, whatever. So I picked this girl up.
You go on ChatGPT.
Yeah.
When you find a kid in the
I
park.
pull up ChatGPT and say, what are the legalities of touching kids at the park? But so I was like, I picked this girl up and I put her on the swing. So right away, I'm like, this is like, I feel so weird. And obviously, I'm not doing anything wrong. And all I did was put her on the swing. But, you know, if I came around the corner to the park and somebody was like lifting up my child that I don't know, I'd be like, hey, don't fucking do that.
Yeah,
like,
please don't.
And so right away I was like, okay, like, and so I was like, all right, like, see you. And we were about to leave the park at this point anyway. So I was like, all right, see you later. And she's like, somebody push me. And I was like, no, not pushing you. And I walked over and I sat down by Alicia on the bench. And Kennedy was like, well, I'll push you. And I was like, okay, well, whatever. It's two
kid on kid crying.
Yeah. It's two girls playing now. It's not weird. It's not a male adult stranger in the park. And so Kennedy starts pushing this girl, and I was like, this girl's like pretty small, and like immediately falls off the swing, like mid push, and like hits the deck and just starts crying. And I was like, oh, I have like facilitated the injury of a child. And she's like looking over at me, and she's like, my leg. And Kennedy's like, oh, it's okay. And like I looked over at Alicia, I was like, this is like a woman's job. Like I was like, not to be like misogynist or anything, but I was like, I don't need like her grandma to come around the corner and like see like me hunched over her crying granddaughter. If it's a woman, it might be a little different.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Okay, I'm with you.
You know what? That's society for you, right? Like, you know. Anyway,
no, just I'm like some sweaty man standing over this kid.
I love how you assumed I was sweating.
It was a half kilometer walk. You said family walk. You're drenched. You're just buckets. You got the like boob under sweat, like standing over this kid huffing. Like it paints a terrible picture.
Yeah,
Here comes grandma.
It does not look good.
Yeah.
And so then like Alicia kind of like calms this girl down. And then some other kids kind of came up, and I don't think they were related, but she went over and talked to them. And we were like, let's get the fuck out of here. Bail. And we just bailed. And as we were walking home, we did see Grandma sitting in a lawn chair on her driveway, just smoking a dart, looking at her phone. And I didn't want to go up to her and be like, hey, like your 3-year-old granddaughter that you probably should be supervising a little better than you currently are is injuring herself at the park. because I didn't want to be implicated. I didn't want my face associated with this. But so anyway,
she was just swinging. She got up there all by herself. I don't know how she got up there.
I watched the whole thing from a great distance. Anyway, so yeah, that's what would you do in that? Would you have put her on the swing, or would you have been like, no, fucking bye?
You know, it's funny. That's crazy. It's serendipitous. We were camping this weekend with another family, and we're good friends. And so we do like kind of like zone defense with the kids. There was a park with a swing set and a slide. And so like, you know, my buddy Bren would be doing the dinner dishes or chopping firewood, and Marin would want to go to the park. And I'd be like, I'm going, like, I'll take your kids kind of thing. And we, you know, did that all weekend. And I was over at the park with his son and daughter, and their boy wanted to get pushed on the swing. And like, he's a little guy, and like, obviously I'm in now custody, you know, protecting this child. He's in my care, supervision. And I'm like, yeah, I'll help you on the swing. So very similar. And I'm pushing him really gently, like kind of almost just like pulling the chains and letting the chains go. And he's like, higher, push me higher. And finally, like, just like a little bit of like dad juice was like, you want, like, I'll push you high.
I'll send you the fucking moon.
Oh yeah. And I went and I gave him a shove, and he just like did that like little kid thing where he like didn't hold him to the chains, and I just pushed him like face first into the gravel. And he was like you know, he like looks back at me with a mouth full of dirt and is like, why? so yeah, no, like, and that was my friend's kid, and hopefully he doesn't listen to the podcast. But I was like, man, that'd be awful if you like ever were in this situation randomly. Like, the answer is no. Chat GPT, should I help this kid play? And like, Chat GPT is gonna laugh at you. Don't do it.
Do not touch a strange child. Yeah, no, I broke like rule number 1. I thought I was being helpful, but I felt weird about it the whole time. And then as soon as Kennedy pushed her off the swing, like, she was not pushing hard. I mean, she's a 5-year-old girl. She's not exactly like sending this kid like over, like doing a full flip.
Yeah.
Right. Like, not happening. So I was like, oh, she's in good hands. Like, Kennedy won't push that hard. And Kennedy has a little baby sister. Like, she's pretty gentle. She knows how to behave with younger kids. No, this girl was not holding on. And anyway, so I just wanted to pick that up, tell that little story, get your input on it. Sounds like a do not do, and now I've just revealed that I was. Yeah,
write us in. What do you guys do when you find kids at the playground?
Yeah, what's our email address? We haven't plugged that.
No, we haven't got a lot of emails. We haven't done a lot of stuff. We haven't done a lot of plugging. raddadredemptionpodcast@gmail.com. And if you're, you know, at the park sweating through your gear because you're just pushing so many random kids, and you think, hey, I need to replace some of this.
I need a different outfit, and I need to get rid of the ones I'm currently wearing when they report me to the RCMP.
Yeah. Check out BajaLife.style and buy our crap.
Yeah, buy some shit. I put a new t-shirt on there inspired by one of our last episodes.
What's on there?
It says legalize hentai, and it's got a bunch of tentacles.
We talked to you. You're like, what about this shirt? And I was like, I did the thing where I'm like, ha ha ha. I'm just not going to make that call, but I'm glad it's on there. Go buy that one.
I ran with it. Buy the legalized hentai shirt.
Yeah.
If you take a picture of yourself wearing the legalized hentai shirt, I'll buy you a beer at the Rad Dad variety night.
Yeah. Wow, we're plugging.
Let's plug everything all in one giant bit.
Yeah.
Just force feeding you. Just open your gullet and let us pour just self-promotion shit down your throat.
How's it taste? Tastes great. If you're still listening at this point. Yeah, it's July 22nd at Big Beaver Brewing. We're doing our Rad Dad variety night as it's kind of taken shape. There's going to be Dex.
I'll be there.
He'll be there. I'll be there. Doing some stand-up, but also our good friend Ben Marsh is going to come and play an acoustic set. He's very talented. And then Natural Ensemble, our boy Josh, is going to show out and kind of rock the place. There's a silent auction with a lot of local businesses providing items, and we're actually going to be donating any and all proceeds to charity. So
yeah. And I think Big Beaver's doing like, what, $1 per beer or something?
Yeah, we definitely discussed that.
Okay.
And they were like, absolutely 100%.
I asked that as a question because I didn't want to like now corner them into like.
Well, now they are. They are now. And they said I could drink as much as I want for free for life. So that's pretty sick of them. Yeah, no, it's going to be a fantastic event. Good cause and lots of laughs. Come check it out. Dex is actually on the open mic circuit to prepare.
Yeah.
How's that going?
It's funny. I went golfing with Geese today, and
Did you guys run some jokes?
I kind of did run the joke, but I was like, I'm not going to work on it that hard because whatever. I'm going to go out and either bomb or whatever. Probably bomb.
But not on the 22nd. It's going to be fire.
Great on the 22nd.
You better come.
But we were golfing today, and I guess context, because a lot of this has happened since the last episode. I was trying to find like an open mic or amateur night in Calgary, and the Laugh Shop at the Blackfoot Inn and Casino was like, yeah, we'll have you on. And like, unbeknownst to me, their amateur night is like not so much like, oh, this is your first time doing comedy as it is for me. It's like, no, like maybe a little more established. You've done it a couple times. You've done the little bar open mics or whatever. But no, they gave me a spot, and so, but it's like opening for a professional touring comedian, Andy Haynes, who's hilarious.
I went and looked him up after too, and I was like, "Dwee!"
He's so good. He's so funny.
This guy's a real comedian.
And so it's like this is what they do. Like the comedian,
they want to make him look good.
Well, and he'll be there, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday type thing, right? And so the Wednesday show is often their warm up show, and so they put the amateurs on before them, and I think tickets are a little cheaper or whatever if you're going to watch. So that's kind of like their warm-up night, first night in Calgary or whatever on their tour, and they got us opening for them. So Geese was like very like not supportive when I first was like, hey, June 7th, I'm opening for Andy Haynes at amateur night. He was like, "You're fucked."
Yeah, I don't know if was that online where we
were playing Halo.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, and he kept.
You were much more supportive.
I was trying to build you up, and he would be like, "Yeah, no, like you're gonna do great. You're gonna be good. I just mean like in terms of like what you're doing, like it's not gonna go well. You're gonna do bad. It's not gonna be funny. You're gonna bomb." And I'm like, no, Dex, you're going to do great. And he's like, no, he will do great. Man, no, I love Dex. But seriously, like, shit idea, bad idea. Like, you are going to get rolled. So I very much look forward to that. I also heard you say us. Did you sign me up? Am I going up?
No.
I thought in my head. Like,
sorry, I think I meant us, like me and my newfound crew of amateur comedians who I have yet to meet.
Okay, don't leave me in the dust. When you and Andy Haynes are like super famous, I'm going to be the guy outside the Laugh Shop like years from now being like, I used to be his partner.
Yeah,
I was his writing guy.
All of that's going to feed into this. We'll make this thing huge. We'll sell like 5 more t-shirts. It's going to be a big deal. This podcast is blown up.
Yeah, Mom, if you're listening, buy some more t-shirts. Thanks again for that purchase.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to throw shade, but everyone's like, oh, I'll get a shirt. And then it's like, my mom.
No.
My mom bought one. And the funny thing is, too, is my mom's a stylish cat. And she wears, like, like anyone who knows my mom knows, like, Shannonisms. Lots of leopard. She's Shania 2095. And, like, still is. Like, that's my mom. And so she texts me this picture. And it's just, like, this, like, Fruit of the Loom pink tee with, like, our ugly fucking faces on it. And she's like, got my gear. And I'm like, where are you gonna wear this? Like, you're gonna sweat through this at a park picking up some fucking kid, throwing him on a swing.
That's like her new like painting shirt.
Yeah,
everybody's got that shirt. Right?
I was like, thanks for thinking. I was like, I love you, Mom. That's so nice.
It was very supportive. It was nice. Yeah. I was interested that was the one she ordered, because that was kind of like, I was like, oh, I'll make an alt logo, and went with that one. And I was like, it's whatever. I'm wondering who will want it. And like, your mom, the fashionista, was like, yeah, I'm going with the alt logo, which I thought was a cool choice. I like it.
It's validation.
Yeah.
You are good at designing stuff. And you push a mean swing. That's why the kids flock to you.
Oh, yeah.
I've always said that about you.
Yeah. I'm like a white van just parked in that fucking...
Oh, this is like, where's he going?
Yeah, I'm going to stop. I did get beverages today, too. Because we started strong with like beverages every time, and then we kind of like let that lapse. But I mean, that does make up like a big part of our podcast early identity. Like the Baja lifestyle is the Baja Blast.
Yeah, it's funny. Well, because we've got feedback. We hear from our friends that like the show is better. Like people, like, you can listen to it now. And I think like early on, we were like very much trying to emulate podcasts, and like podcasts have a thing. And I'm like, this will be like our fucking thing. We drank these Baja Blasts, and we'll always have a Baja Blast. And like it was, like if you go back, if you're brave enough to listen to the early episodes, we like made a point of having a drink. But I think what happened was that it was a shit bit.
And I'm bringing it back.
I think it just wasn't funny. Like we were like, hey, these guys like pop or don't like pop. Like, what is it?
So why I was so inspired to buy this is
Well, you got the Dew.
I got the Mountain Dew Pitch Black, and I was watching. I was just scrolling Instagram Reels, and I saw Dr. Dew.
Dr. Dew.
Who I love this dude. If you haven't seen
Let me
Dr. Dew,
let me tell you something.
what about Dr. Dew?
No, that's what he says.
Oh, is that what he says?
Yeah.
Okay. If you don't know Dr. Dew, you got to go see him on Instagram. But he does like drink reviews, but he doesn't just grab like a normal old Mountain Dew. He will get like a giant beer stein. Like we're talking, if you're at Boston Pizza, he's getting the Boston sized beer stein.
He's getting Das Boot.
And he's filling it up with like usually Mountain Dew and something else. And he does whatever people request. And so a lot of them are him just drinking, and he drinks it all in one gulp too. But it's him drinking like a Mountain Dew and like coffee creamer,
and
like,
he skulls it.
Oh yeah, one chug. Like and then he always looks straight down the camera, like he just drank half a bottle of International Delights with like Mountain Dew, and he's like 6 out of 10, not bad.
No, see, that one he's like 6 out of 10, maybe not the one.
But he says Pitch Black is the best Mountain Dew, because I saw him do one where he mixed all the different Mountain Dew types into one big glass. He must piss only kidney stones. For sure.
Or blood.
Or blood, yeah.
Mixture of the two.
Yeah.
So this is the best. This is
the best according to him.
Style.
And
right.
I'm gonna have another little sippy, but
yeah, let's do it live. Can we get that?
You know what? It's I don't know. It's decent. It tastes like Mountain Dew mixed with like grape Kool-Aid. You feel that?
Yeah, it's giving me that like grape Flintstones vitamin vibe. But like,
so, all right, 6 out of 10, not it.
6 out of 10, maybe not the one. No, it is. As far as Mountain Dew goes, I actually was surprised at how much I did enjoy like Baja Blast. I thought that was my, outside of just like regular gonna kill you slowly Mountain Dew, was Baja Blast was like a nice twist on the whole experience.
Yeah, I think I'm still a Baja man.
You are a Baja man.
Oh yeah. Who let the dogs out?
Dex.
All right, but let's jump into it.
Let's do it.
Because there's big things happening in
Rad
Alberta.
Dad Redemption Podcast. Play that new jingle you've been working on.
I don't have any new jingles, and we need to edit this one fast because we want to talk a little bit of election, and that's happening tomorrow, and I am not known for my quick edits.
Oh, it's getting edited tonight?
I don't know.
We're done with the morning show. That was like we were both like, this is such a wicked vibe. We should always do this. And it's like, I can't get my shit together. But let's meet up as anytime we possibly can. All right. This is the Rad Dad Redemption election special.
Rad Dad decides.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I got to do
Play that Rad Dad election jingle.
I'll do a jingle.
Yeah, okay.
Here it is.
Alberta decides election night coverage from the RDRP news desk.
Oh man.
Anyway, so we're recording this on Sunday night. Whenever this gets out, maybe the results are already out by the time you're listening to this, and we're in the midst of civil war.
Yeah.
Who knows what could happen, right?
That's kind of crazy.
I feel like that's probably not likely, but
possibility.
If it does happen, I'm probably gonna be questioned about what I just said. But anyway, big.
We'll have to play this whole episode at the hearing.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, first of all, this guy's touching kids.
the May 29th committee. Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah. So anyway, we're not very political. I don't even know what we're gonna say about this election.
Yeah, what this is.
I hear somebody's trying to take back Alberta. I don't know. I heard that. There's a whole thing on the news the other day, like about they made it seem very like way cooler than provincial politics is. Like provincial politics is pretty fucking boring when you think about it. Still important. Like go vote. Obviously, you probably already voted by the time you're listening to this. But there's like this Take Back Alberta that's like inserting themselves into like the UCP meetings and like the local constituencies. And they're very well organized. They're a small group, but very well organized. and they're just like taking over these constituencies, and all the board members are supporters of this Take Back Alberta. But the news portrayed it as like this very deep conspiracy. Like these guys are taking over from behind the scenes. They're pulling the strings. They got Danielle Smith under their foot. Like when I was watching the news, I was like, "This is pretty heavy for CTV 530." Like
it's incredible that that's the type of stuff that dominates news media, though, right? Because like I feel like this election, and I'm guilty of it, is like I don't really know what's going on. I don't know the platforms. Honestly, we had an interesting chat about this. We did the CBC Vote Compass, and like, you know, prior to that, and not that this is where I'm going to like based on, you know, my results that determines how I'm going to vote, but like I had an idea. This is what I think, and here's why I think it. And then you go through and do this compass, and I was like most aligned with like the Green Party, like 87%. Like
do they even run local candidates?
I don't know. And then the runner up for me was the Alberta Party, and then like third was the Liberal Party, and then like way down at the bottom was like the NDP and the UCP, and I was like, oh fuck,
which are like the only two relevant ones in this election.
That's kind of you know, I wish the Rhino Party was running, but it made me think. It kind of gave me pause. I was like, I don't really even know like where I lie on the spectrum. You know, like what issues are important to me. And are they getting talked about? Well, I guess I would have to refine my own thoughts first and foremost. But certainly as someone who just like goes on and watches the news, you see like, yeah, Take Back Alberta. Like, and like, is that really what's going on? Is it really like, do they have Danielle Smith underneath their foot? I don't think so. I think it's probably just like a couple of dudes.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I do love that their name is Take Back Alberta, as they are part of the governing party, like the current governing party.
Yeah, where did it go? What are you taking back?
You're taking it back from yourself? Like what's happening here? That was my thing. Is I was like, that's a poor name. It's like when Trump was running for his second term, and he was still using the Make America Great Again, and I was like, you already had your chance to. You already made it great.
You already fixed all the problems.
Either you've already made it great, and that slogan no longer has any weight, or you have failed in making it great, and you're still working on that one, right? And it's kind of like, and then that's like an admission that you have failed at like your most basic forward slogan.
Make America Great Again.
Squared. Yeah.
So what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen on Monday?
I don't know. I think if you look at all the polls, it's a UCP win.
I read that with my ears when I was listening to the radio. That there's the polls are indicating there's like a slight edge there.
Yeah.
You know, battleground Calgary though. They got to get.
Here's the thing about polling, and I think we've seen it a few times. I think we saw it the first time that the NDP won, where they were like, "Oh, it's going to be pretty tight," and then they actually had a pretty solid win at the end of the day. Polling is like notoriously inaccurate in modern times because. I don't know about you. I'm sure I've been getting a lot of these polling calls. I'm not taking a fucking call from an unknown number to talk about my political stance and who I'm voting for. I won't even tell my wife who I'm voting for. I've been with her for 10 years. That's secret information, you know? Like that's
a personal question.
That's between me and the ballot box, you know? Like, come on.
I think that's and that is indicative of the type of person who does have that time. You know, that does answer that call. Boomers, people who are probably on like the extreme end. I forget who coined it. I think I heard it first on The Strategist, but they're talking about like, you know, moderate versus extreme voters, and they have like this 7-point rating scale, and like the majority of people within Alberta would align with like that 3, 4, 5. You know, like, you know, even in this society that we live in, even in Alberta, how polarized things have like seemingly become. Still, like the spectrum is very narrow.
Yep.
You know, like
for the average person.
Like honestly, like I'm gonna vote, I'm gonna do my thing, but at the end of the day, I'll just keep living my fucking life.
Yep.
You know, like that's the truth. But it's funny because like it's these 1s and 2s and these 6s and 7s that like make the most noise. They go form special committees called Take Alberta Back and start like posting shit and like aligning themselves with things. You know, they're the Pat King of the movement, where they're like, we got to get him not talking on air anymore, but like we want him and his like group, you know, we need those votes, but like these are extreme people. So when I think about that idea of polling, you know, who's sitting around taking this phone call, that's like, I've got something to say, and like, I'll tell you, like, yeah, it's probably.
I'm gonna give you my opinion.
Yeah, I haven't done a poll. Where are they getting this information?
So that's the thing is like I've asked Alicia, have you gotten a poll call? No, I haven't gotten one. You haven't gotten one, right? So then that's where, okay, so we are generally younger people. We're maybe a little more tech savvy. We're not going to take calls from random numbers and talk politics with a stranger on the other side who wants to sell a poll to, you know, Post Media or whoever. And then, yeah, so you're going to end up with like this selection bias, right? You're going to end up with people who are apt to answer those calls and answer those questions and reveal their voting intentions, right? So, yeah, I think, you know, the polls say that it's going to be a UCP win. I would not be shocked if the NDP pulled it off. And the thing that I always look at is like, as I'm driving through town, is the signs. And I'm like, who put a sign up? And who's willing to publicly say to like everybody driving by, this is who this house supports. And we live in a riding that's like very heavy UCP. Like last time he got like what, 72% of the vote?
I think 73%. And if you don't hear the fact check jingle, this is correct. 73% of all votes counted.
Yeah.
Were for blue.
Yeah.
Which is huge.
Like absolute landslide.
Yeah.
And so I was expecting to see a ton of his signs out. Like just, that's the riding that we live in, like rural Alberta, right? And it feels pretty equal, which is weird to me.
I'm seeing lots of orange. This is the most orange I've ever seen.
Yeah.
In these parts.
And I think the shocking thing to me is there's just less blue. So is that people that are like, you know, maybe I'm a little embarrassed about Danielle Smith and like some of the wild things that some of the other candidates are saying. Our local one hasn't really done anything too untoward that I know of, but you got that one in Red Deer who was like, you know, trans kids are literal pieces of shit.
Yeah, what did she say? Like it's like having doo-doo in your cookie.
Yeah,
and Danielle Smith's like, oh yeah, she better say sorry. You're like, that's not sick.
She did disavow her. She's like, she's not going to be allowed in caucus
under pressure 3 days later.
Yeah, 3 days later, which is like, yeah, not really a strong stance to take. But yeah, no, she was, and it was so funny because the argument that she was trying to make, I was like, well, that just sounds like a complete failure of like your education system then. Because she was saying it doesn't matter if Alberta education system is top 3% in the world. If there's trans kids taking those tests, that's like having shit in your cookies. And I was just like, so wait, like the success of the system is completely invalidated because the existence of a group of people, whether or not you like agree with their lifestyle or how they live, forget all of that. We're not going to get into that debate. This is not that kind of podcast. But I was like, your argument is basically that your education system cannot handle the mere existence of some people. Like any results, good or bad, invalidated by the existence of one group of people. I was like, that's just a really bad argument. That just sounds like you have no faith in the education system that your party has set up.
But that's interesting that you say that, because that's you as like a well-informed, a well-read person who hears that and you're like, well, let's unpack that. That's bullshit. But it's the rhetoric that, when it gets spouted, people lose their minds because they already had that like transphobic belief, and like they want to hear that. So like it's a rally cry. Our good friend is the NDP candidate for our riding, is our old neighbor, and she's fantastic. She's an awesome lady. But she was telling us, and her husband was telling us about the forum. Like they go and they essentially all have to stand up and respond to questions. And like some of the questions that are being asked, and you go and look this up, like this exists on YouTube. They would like put it to the Alberta Party candidate and ask like, what are you going to do to bring doctors back to rural Alberta? Like, what are we going to do in this healthcare crisis where you have people who don't want to be family doctors? They don't want to work in the ER because things are such a nightmare. Like what do we do? How do we get more doctors into the province? Real question, real problem. And this dude essentially like does not answer the question, totally skirts it, and is like, I'll tell you what I would have done. I wouldn't have fired so many because of that vaccine. And just like an eruption from the crowd.
Yeah.
People are like, that's why I don't like it either. Like, I don't want shit in my cookies. Yeah. Like, never mind the fact that like what you just said was in no way, shape, or form an answer or a plan, in terms of like that specific need in our province. But you said the right thing to the right people. You played your base and like, I did not agree with that. This guy gets it. And that's the brand of politics I find. Like that's the era we live in.
Yeah, and he's playing to that base. And again, there's going to be a very specific type of person that goes to those forums and I guess wants to be spoken to. I mean, I'm sure there are some moderate voters who are genuinely undecided when they go there, but I think a lot of people that go there, I mean, you can get information anywhere. You want to see the platform of your candidate, you can go online. You don't have to go to a forum and listen to them, say whatever prepared tidbit they have about whatever topic, right? So of course then you're gonna have like this very narrow crowd, and it's like, what do I say to this crowd in front of me right now that's gonna get them clapping for whatever I said or cheering for whatever I said? And he probably looked at that crowd and was like, I know exactly what to say in this situation.
And it's not the answer to the question.
And I don't have a policy answer. And so you and I were actually talking about this a while ago, but a lot of this like identity politics stuff, I think, is a way of completely getting away from any type of policy discussion. Because the fact of the matter is that like nobody really has the answers. I mean, otherwise everything would be great, right? We've got different parties of different, political persuasions in power, provincially, federally, whatever. And there's still like a housing crisis. Like it's still incredibly unaffordable to live in a lot of Canada, and it's getting more unaffordable. Nobody's talking about that. They're talking about shit in cookies. Yeah. Right. So that's their way. That's very intentional. It's their way. If you're just like rip roaring mad about Bud Light and, bathrooms and everything, right? And that's all you can think about. And it just gets you like just blinding mad that you can't actually think about real issues and like real things that affect people every single day, and you just want to fucking blast your 12 gauge through a 24 pack of Bud Light. That's what some of these parties want, because they cannot fix the housing crisis in any meaningful amount of time. And so they don't want you thinking about that, because then you're just going to hold them to task and you're going to hold them accountable. And God forbid you should do that to your politicians.
Well, and I think that's fairly ideological in the sense that like, I already proved the point. We go back and listen to it. Like you're saying that like they don't know the answers in terms of their policy. I don't think we know the questions. I think this is fair to say. Like I'm a pretty uninformed voter, and we come by it naturally because like this is what we're inundated with, is these types of political battles, these types of, and you used this term the other day, culture wars. Yep. And we're talking about anything but the facts. And then when you actually get down to it, if you and I sit across from each other and have the conversation, we're like, well, who is going to solve these problems, the housing crisis, right? I actually couldn't point to an answer in terms of a political party and be like, well, this is what they say. This is their plan. Because I don't even know that. I'm watching the news. I watch the reels. Like it's kind of crazy. It almost seems like a useless exercise.
Kind of. There you go, folks. Go cast your vote. It means nothing.
Election special. Yeah.
You won't hear this on global news.
You know what I'm fucking saying though? Like, I just, as much as I want to pretend to be the guy that's like, well, I know the real issues, and like I'm not better than, but like my vote is better than, because I'm actually voting on what could potentially happen. And I think that that's not true either. Like I think it's just
No, and the thing is, even if they did come out with hey, here's our policy on how we're going to fix this very real problem, it also might not work, right? Like, so voting for, well, they told me this is how they're going to fix the housing crisis. Like, a plan does not always go according to plan, right? So, I guess that's the other thing. And it's just not sexy, right? It doesn't get you on the evening news. It doesn't get you time on the radio shows. It doesn't get two fat dudes in a basement talking about you on a podcast.
No, it does not.
If you're talking policy, it gets like a few policy wonks at like U of C chatting like over coffee about it, but
You just use the term policy wonk. I love it. I don't know what a wonk is, but
it's people that like really get into like policy and like the nitty gritty of like economic policy and all of that kind of
fucking wonks. I love it. That's the best word I've heard all day.
Oh yeah, no, it's a real thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, so most Albertans, dare I say all Canadians, are not policy wonks, and they don't want to sit there and hear, well, all right, here's our 5-step plan, and first step is going to be increasing, housing construction by 20%. And you, like, already, I'm looking at you, and your face.
I've already glazed over.
You're like, no, this is stupid.
Say the joke. I think it's funny. I think what people do want is like they want their issue, their one issue. Mm-hmm. My father-in-law says it all the time. He's like, I'll vote for the party that has the ability to get like one thing done in 4 years, and like a tangible, like you're in power and you got the ring road finished, you installed a bunch of art, you built the arena, which is like, that's actually like the big spend. UCP is like, we're gonna start spending cash. That might be huge to some people. You're a small business owner down in Victoria Park area, like
you're not going to be able to afford to keep your small business down there after that arena's built.
You're squashed.
I don't know if you've been outside Rogers Place in Edmonton. It's a beautiful arena. Not much going on around it. There is the Boston Pizza that has a 2.5-hour wait.
Bad example. I think that's maybe a more accurate reflection of what people are after. Is like, this happened. This affects me. Inflation affects me. In the public sector, in healthcare, and in education. Like we're short-staffed. We're crazy short-staffed. We're like more short-staffed than I've ever experienced. And when I started, people were like, we're so short-staffed. And then like 7 years later, and it's like, remember when we thought we were short-staffed? Remember when we thought it was a problem? I would kill to go back to 2015 to have like that ratio of adults in the building to learners, and like that type of EA support, and like that many competent professionals who like care about a system. And it's like, so like that's close to home. And I won't like go off and on with that specifically, but as a voter, like the first party that's like, I'm gonna hire a buttload of teachers and nurses, I'm like, you got it. But even then, and Megan and I talked about this because she's in the healthcare system. NDP has said like we're gonna go province wide. One of our first orders of business is we're gonna hire 4,000 new healthcare providers, new nurses, and it's like, great, awesome. Where?
Yeah. How are you getting these people?
How are you getting them? Because like when I talk to Megan, she tells me, she's like I know all of the nurses in the community, and like they all have jobs and they don't want to work anymore. They're all actually very tired. They're all working less. Mm-hmm. They're trying to do it less because it's become so hard. And you're just gonna like, I tried to snap there. You're just gonna. There we go. That's nice.
Good snap.
You're just gonna fucking snap your fingers, Thanos style, and make 4,000 like workforce ready nurses.
That's not happening anytime soon. B, even at the end of a 4-year term, like how are you doing this? Are you going to open up more nursing programs? Are you going to subsidize nursing education? Well, you're still 4+ years out from those nurses even becoming employable at a hospital.
Are you going to ease restrictions on foreign workers, people who come to this country who
I be a nurse?
Well, honestly, you have people that come and they are qualified healthcare professionals, but they don't meet like the Alberta or the Canadian standard, and they're like, you know what, you're gonna have to go work at fucking Tim Hortons, even though like you're a registered nurse, like, and these things are not easy. These are massive barriers, and I think that kind of goes back to what you were saying. Is like, that sounds like a great idea on paper. You got me. You said the fucking thing I wanted.
Yep, 4,000 nurses, baby.
I'm in. And then like 4 years from now, when we're still getting pounded, and the wonks are like, we fucking told you, the NDP can just go like, well, it's a process. Like we've opened the doors, we've been advertising in the Yukon, we're trying to, we have had actionable items regarding that particular platform promise. But like, are there fucking 4,000 nurses coming to work in Alberta to like ease the strain on the system? Absolutely fucking not.
No,
not
in 4 years. Maybe they could show some type of progress, and, okay, give us another term and we're going to see this through because we've got a huge group graduating from all these nursing colleges and we've subsidized their education and, they're going to be signing contracts to work in Alberta for the next few years. But again, we're like such a what have you done for me lately and like instant gratification society that like, yeah, telling me it's going to be 4+ years to have these nurses in place is kind of like
it now.
Well, yeah, it's like, okay, so I guess I'll trust you for 4 years. And at the end of 4 years, it's still not even going to be in place. It's going to be like, here's the progress that we've made. And please give us your vote for another 4 years so we can see this through. Are people going to be like, no, you dropped the ball, right? Even though there very much could be progress made, right?
I think the UCP has the edge in that sense. Is there like a lot of their stuff is that they're just looking to put cash in your pockets, right? Like they can come out and just do stuff immediately that people will see, And what that stuff is, we're gonna go back and listen to this and be like, we talk about a lot of stuff and a lot of things, but you know what I'm saying, right? So it's just I don't know what to do. I was thinking about it, like going in and getting my ballot and just like drawing a funny picture, like I've in an effort to like officially spoil my ballot.
So what you want to do. And this is not going to be helpful to anyone because they'll probably listen to this after they've
election
gone and
special,
voted.
how to spoil your ballot. Here's some
what you want to do
tips.
though is actually like if you are genuinely like, hey, I do not feel represented by the political parties. I did the vote compass and the Green Party is for me, and I love Elizabeth May. What you want to do is you want to go to the polling place. What?
Rip.
Oh, I thought you meant rip like she's dead. I was like, no. I think she's still alive and well.
That is what I meant. Wait, Elizabeth May's alive?
Yeah.
Bring her back.
From the dead.
I ruined your point.
Yeah, but what you want to do is go to the polling place and actually go and claim your ballot, but then refuse it and say, I'm declining my ballot. I'm officially declining my ballot. And that is actually something that's tracked. Because spoiled ballots, they'll be like, oh, here's some idiot who didn't read the one instruction on how to fill in their ballot. So it's spoiled, and it doesn't mean anything. It's not like, oh, well, we've got a very specific protest here of a wiener drawn across everybody's name.
I'd love to see the stats on that. How many wieners got drawn across the province?
Wouldn't that be funny if there's like a write-in effort for like just a wiener, and like it got like a significant portion of the vote? It won a seat. Just this cartoon wiener.
That's hilarious though, and I think probably intentionally so. They make it so you'd have to go to the ballot box and be an asshole. Like I'm just picturing myself being like, can I have that? Hey, yeah, here's my information. Here's my fucking name and address. I'd like my official ballot, please. And they're like, oh, here you go, sir. And I'm like,
no, thank you.
No, thank you.
Well, and realistically, how many people are going to take the time to go to the ballot office and then not vote for someone, right? If you genuinely like you don't want to vote as a protest, then you're probably just not going to go.
Yeah, but that's a problem too. Actually, we were talking about polling and like how like fucking who knows what the polls show or if they show anything. And I think even pollsters would be the first ones to tell you like this is like wildly inaccurate. It's just to get an overall sense. I feel like there's maybe a bit of strategy in what we're seeing and hearing in the news right now, talking about a UCP poll advantage because it's been like blowing up. And I feel like this is a conspiracy. This is bullshit. But like if I'm on the fence, if I'm an on the fence UCP voter, and I was probably just going to vote blue because I always vote blue, but Danielle Smith is not very palatable. I'm not putting a fucking lawn sign up. I'm going to be the no lawn sign guy. But if I go like in secret with my secret ballot, I would probably write blue. And then I'm listening on the news and I hear that like the UCP's got an 8-point lead. I might be incentivized to be like, well, we got it. We're good. I'm going to watch the Celtics game. It's going to be fucking wild.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, totally. There is a phenomenon that talks about that. And to the other side of that, if they're saying, hey, there's a slight edge for UCP, somebody who was maybe like leaning NDP and was like, oh, they're not going to win, so I'm not going to bother to show up. Oh, they're only down by 1 point? I'm gonna get out and vote, and I'm gonna like drive my friends to the polling place or whatever, right?
We're gonna make the
push.
push.
So there could be some motivation there for the one that's fallen behind to get out that vote. So Yeah, there's something to that. You can't really believe the polls, and I wouldn't base your vote on what the polls say either.
Or certainly not, yeah, or the exercising the option, as you say, to not vote instead of like spoiling or being the guy that's like, no, I will not accept this ballot.
Please give me my ballot.
I'm just not gonna go do it. But there's definitely like I have like a fictitious grandpa's voice ringing in my ear right now, being like, we fought a fucking bunch of wars, so you
I mean, that's a real thing.
so
yeah,
you ninny wonks could go out and cast a ballot in your like free election. And I'm like, that's like my one civic responsibility. Like I gotta do one thing every 4 years. Like I'm a real piece of shit. If you're listening to this right now and you're like a non-voter, or like you didn't even go and ask them to hand you the ballot and then say, don't give me that shit. If you didn't do that, like, you're a piece of shit.
What always makes me laugh is like, I guess we've already actually had like record turnout for the advanced polls in Alberta, which is a great sign. I think it's good that people participate in the democratic process, but there's still going to be a massive amount of people that do not vote. Massive amount of people that don't vote, but everyone fucking complains. And it's like, that you could have done something about this, and if everybody that didn't vote showed up, they'd actually outnumber the people that did vote. And it's like, it just drives me crazy, because then I'm like, I'll be sitting on social media, and I'll just be scrolling, and it's just fucking like, you'll see 5 in a row just complaints about politics or whoever's representing them or whatever. And it's like, statistically, there's no fucking way all of you voted. Like, it's just not possible. Like, if all of you that are complaining voted, we'd have like 97% turnout, but we don't. So people love to complain, they love to bitch, and maybe that's the thing. They don't want to vote so that they can like keep their options open, right? You vote for the wrong party, and then they actually win, and you don't like it. You're like, oh,
you got something to say now.
Yeah.
I didn't vote for this. It'd be funny if you had like an ID confirmation. So like you go to post on Facebook and it just like comes up before and it's like, did not vote.
Did not vote.
You're like, damn it.
There's an idea.
Yeah. An exclusive club to argue online. I like it. I fucking love it. I think there's money in that.
Hell yeah. That's Twitter Blue with more steps.
You got $8? All right. You're in.
Yeah. But anyway, I hope you all vote.
Yeah, go and vote.
Exercise again. Speed of editing.
Do it for my fictitious grandpa.
Yeah, do it for mine too. He killed 40 krauts.
Stop, you fucking guy. Oh, Grandpa Dunford, hey, unreal, cool, man.
Yeah.
Rip him, rip Elizabeth May. I hope they're doing well. Yeah.
Oh,
they're up in the special place in the sky, pushing random kids on swings.
That does sound like heaven to some people.
this fucking guy. Oh God! Election special. This is definitely like the end of Billy Madison, where they're like, in no way, shape, or form did you answer that question. Like everyone.
We basically just ranted about how people don't vote.
Everyone in this room is now dumber, having listened to your response. May God have mercy on your soul.
Yeah, we really wanted to spread our wings with this election special, and I guarantee there's 400 podcasts that are better suited to cover an election than we are.
Yeah, check them out.
Yeah, but thanks for listening to ours too.
Yeah, we love it. We love you guys.
All right, let's get off the election talk, and let's talk about what really matters.
I'm ready.
Last night I come up to bed. My beautiful wife is asleep. She's left the TV on, as she does. She likes to fall asleep with something on TV. She's watching the new season of Selling Sunset.
Oh.
And like I have a lot of criticisms about the show, but I like the drama sucks you in, and I watched a full on 2 episodes, and I didn't go up to bed until 12:30. So I was up till like 2:30 watching Selling Sunset, and just like hate fucking it with my eyes. Just like
you're the meme. You're the guy that's like, this show is so stupid, and then you're in. I
was like, this show's dumb. I'm gonna watch it for 2 hours. Yeah. And I was like, how do I criticize this without sounding like incredibly like misogynistic? Because it's basically incredibly hot women, a lot of them former models, selling houses that I don't think they're totally qualified to sell. And as I'm watching this show, I'm thinking, if I'm the billionaire that's like listed my $27 million Malibu home with Oppenheimer Realty Group,
Are you gonna go get a real? Yeah, you're gonna go.
Do
get
I want to
real?
like turn on Selling Sunset? Be like, oh, like maybe my house is on there, and my realtor is like having a fucking cat fight, like 10 glasses of wine deep at an open house with like another colleague of hers. That's all I could think about. And then the other thing was the guy that owns it, Jason. He's like an HR nightmare. Like, so they're like, oh, he's bringing in his new girlfriend in this one episode. And this dude's 45 and his girlfriend was 24. She was turning 25 that day or the next day or something. And they're like, oh, who here has dated Jason? And like half the girls put up their hand. And I was like, oh, like that's not okay. Like you can't just be like dating all your employees. And yeah, the guy's just like really weird. Like he's pretty short. He's definitely got that like small man syndrome. And it's so funny because he's the girl that he's dating was just like not playing his game, and she's like from Europe and probably doesn't give a fuck about Selling Sunset. And he's like, how'd you get here? Did you take the Bentley? And she's like, no, I Ubered. And he's like, oh, like you didn't get my text about taking the Bentley? And she was like, yeah, I did get the text, but I just took an Uber. And he's like, oh, like, but the Bentley. And just like kept dropping this. I was like, man, this guy has some insecurity issues. Anyway, that's my takeaway from Selling Sunset.
Just before it came, I was waiting to get a hold of you, and Megan was watching season 3, episode 1 of Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my God, these shows are so terrible. But then you like sit and you watch, and they're like horribly bad. What was your term? Hate fucking?
Oh, yeah.
With your eyeballs?
Yeah.
But like, yeah, without fail, here I am like 15 minutes in, and I'm like, so wait, she used a surrogate? That's her baby, but it's not, like she didn't have the baby? Does that even mean she had the baby? I don't know. And like,
it was her egg.
that's why she doesn't feel a connection. What is going on with Kim's roots? Like, is that a style? Like that's my mom Shania Twain 95. Like, you know, like the root touch up. Like you can never have like your root showing. Yeah, you know, Kim's just got these like horrible, awful roots, and they're just like they're out for everyone to see. And I'm like, how is she like this famous influencer with all this? And then I'm just like sitting there. I'm like, what am I doing? What is happening to me? I'm all in.
Oh, and you know what? Those shows are built to do that because, like, as humans, we crave drama. That's why we don't want to talk about policy, about how you're gonna hire 4,000 nurses. We want to talk about the hard-hitting culture war topics, right? And the same thing with the drama on these shows is like I want to see the houses on Selling Sunset, and I want to see like
there's some substance there.
I want to see like the intricacies of like selling these houses and like, you know, what it is to be like a high net worth realtor in like one of the richest cities in the world. But then they just like they keep you there with the drama, right, and the arguments, and like it's so set up and scripted. It's like they're gonna have an argument, so they like move off to the side and sit on 2 perfectly placed chairs across from each other and have a totally casual, normal conversation about how we always have conversations, right?
That type of stuff I can't jive with. That's the stuff I hate the most. And actually, in this Kardashian episode, I think it's Kourtney's the oldest one, right? I'm looking at you. You know, okay.
I don't know.
Khloe goes over to Kourtney's, right? And Kourtney's
could they not have made their names just a little more different? Like, can we get like Chloe and Sassafras? So then I like really know.
Khloe goes to Kourtney's house, right? And this is all filmed. And Kourtney's just married the drummer from Blink-182.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Travis Barker. And so like Khloe walks in, they're like gonna have like some like important family chat about something, just like the two of them sitting on a bed solving the issues, right? But like what happens is Khloe walks into the room and Kourtney and Travis are there, and Khloe's like, what's up? Why is Travis here? And Kourtney goes, I'm ovulating, so we have to have sex right now. So just sit tight for 5 minutes while we go and do it. And it's like this whole scene. And I was like, that in itself was like, that's actually when I got up to leave. I was like, I can't watch this. I can't actually view this. Because like what really happened is they set this up for like 30 minutes beforehand to like have this perfect shot where like they probably could have boinked. Like they probably...
Okay, so I'm not a doctor. Definitely not a fertility doctor. But I think that could have happened probably at any point within like that 24-hour period. Yeah. I don't think it had to be like
within that 5 minutes.
Second.
So it's just like the manufactured scenario there of being like, okay, you're gonna walk into the room with something to say, and then you're gonna be like, we gotta boink, you gotta wait. Oh man, yeah, gets you.
And
Here I am talking about it on the podcast.
Yeah,
They
here we are
fucking
talking
win.
about
They
I brought
fucking
it
win.
up. It's my fault.
That's okay.
But you know what was interesting is I saw something on Instagram, and it was a girl who's like an actual realtor in LA, sells these high value homes, and she was debunking like a lot of what happens on the show. And basically like she went through the MLS and she's like, yeah, like this girl has sold a house this year and this girl has sold a house this year. This girl hasn't sold a house since like 2022 or 2021 or something. And she's like, and Jason has sold 25. So like he does all the behind the scenes stuff and is like actually doing the business. And all of this, the hot girls arguing and drinking Chardonnay and like
They're the show.
getting in fights. So that's just show. It's just show. Like 2 of them have sold houses and that's all it is. And so that made me realize like, oh, this is like super bullshit.
You know what, man? I'm beginning to think reality TV isn't very real.
Hey man, I when I was in broadcast school, there was a guy that came and talked at our class, like in one of our lectures, and he was a writer for Little People Big World. And that was when I was kind of like, why would you need a writer for a reality
It's
TV
hard-hitting
show?
family drama that's just
Yeah.
off the cuff.
No, but a lot of, and he was like, so much of it is scripted. Like there's obviously elements to their life that is real. Like they're all little people, but you know,
they didn't CGI
just, like,
that.
build
they
this
didn't,
family.
They didn't fake that part.
But,
that'd be earth shattering. Could you imagine just like the expose?
they don't even know each other
on
prior to the show.
On People magazine, they come out and there's like they weren't actually little people.
One of them's actually 7'6".
They shrunk them for the fucking show. Oh my god, that is deep. Wow, I can never watch that show again.
But yeah, so he was a writer on the show and would be one of those people that would think of like manufactured drama to insert into the show.
Huh.
Yeah.
So they're all regular sized people. That's crazy. You're saying that? That's crazy.
Yeah, no fact check jingle coming in here.
Man, you just can't trust what you see in the news on TV these days. Unbelievable. I don't think Courtney and Travis were going to have sex.
I don't even think the Kardashians are real people.
They're kind of not. I don't know.
Yeah, no. Mostly silicone.
We talk about that, though. This is a throwback. Just the characters you play. You know, reality TV, they're all playing characters. And I know that from The Challenge, because that is one show that I watch. And, you know, it sucks now. And I think that you just can't do something for 50 seasons and keep it rad. Like, it floors me when people watch Survivor. I'm like, it's the same, but awful. Like, there's nothing new about that show.
I'm shocked that nobody has, like, none of the tribes have just been, like, so bad. It's like, you're not getting rations because you didn't win this challenge. And, like, they don't win, like, 7 in a row. And then they just, like, eat Jeff Probst.
Yeah.
Like, just go full cannibalistic tribe. And, like, the whole show just nosedives.
Well, you've seen Alone. We've talked about this before. You've seen Alone. Yeah. Like, that's people actually outside, like, trying to survive. So, like, that would be a cool concept, is, like, Survivor, but it's like, no, real Survivor. Like, we aren't helping these people out until, like, they're on the brink. Like, we come in and their BMI is like, this person's toast. And, like, then we're going to pull them out in a stretcher. Like, there's no tribes. There's no Jeff Probst. There's just, like...
There's no challenges. Only challenge is the elements.
The challenge is, like, actually surviving. I would watch the shit out of that.
Yeah.
But then it'd be dark.
Yeah, then you're basically watching like a drawn out snuff film.
Yeah. I'm in.
Oh, you know what? Anything to entertain me.
HBO Max, baby.
I got Instagram Reels at my fingertips with like the algorithm feeding me content that I love, right? It knows me better than I know myself. So, you know, Survivor, you got to take it up a notch, right? You got to take it up to the next level. Let's see some people die, right? Like, come on, entertain me.
It's in the name. It's implied that some people won't.
Yeah.
Survivor. It's not Survivors.
You know what? You can't keep calling your show Survivor if everyone fucking survives.
They all survive. We need some people to not survive to make this a little more entertaining.
Just the blooper reel.
That's how they should decide the election in Alberta.
Survivor.
Yeah, real Survivor.
Oh,
real Alberta Survivor.
Oh, yeah.
If you got the medal to survive in, I don't know, Cypress
You know who
Hills.
would win then? It wouldn't be Danielle Smith. It wouldn't be Rachel Notley. It'd be like one of those like random third parties that's going to get 4 votes, but the guy is like a prolific outdoorsman who also like hates the government. he's running to dismantle the whole
Unabomber
thing.
fucking
Oh
wins.
yeah. He's got his manifesto and like a bunker full of beans. You know, and he's gonna win Alberta Survivor.
You have to accept it.
Yeah, he's like I won Alberta Survivor, and I'm now dismantling the entire province. Good luck, everybody. We're just throwing in anarchy.
Just going dark. Shut down the grid.
Ah, fuck it, I'd do it.
Yeah. Well, vote Dex.
Vote for me, and I will implement that in my next platform
Oh, right on, man.
for the policy wonks.
The old wonks.
Little electoral reform for you guys.
Little wonk talk for you.
Trudeau couldn't pull off electoral reform. I'll do it.
Oof. You want to talk federal? We were so enlightening. We had so much substance to our provincial.
No, let's leave it
politics
alone.
debate.
Let's leave it alone.
I don't even think we know that much about reality TV.
No, I know that
It's not real. I know that they were actually all regular sized people.
they're actually giants. They all play basketball professionally. Okay, should we wrap this up? We had fun.
It was a good time.
It was a good time. We started the show by only like shilling all of our stuff that's going on, which I thought was a good start. If people made it through that, they're the dedicated fans.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And then we did some politics talk, but we don't know anything. So hopefully that added a lot of value to your lives.
Yeah. Don't forget to send us an email. I'm going to bring that back.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear that mailbag jingle a few more times.
I'd love to play it. I love that jingle.
Yeah. So if you think everything we said today, you know, if it resonated, or if you want to just like give us an opinion piece on what a bunch of idiots we are, we'll take that and we'll read you live on air.
Yeah, we'll do it.
That actually was the most recent experience of news that I had, was reading in the Western Wheel, the opinion pieces. Do you ever do that?
No, first of all, when they drop the Western Wheel at my door, it goes straight in the recycling.
I immediately build a campfire.
Yeah, so no, I haven't read it.
But they were talking about like in downtown Okotoks, they want to establish, like has been tabled, they want to do an entertainment district.
Oh yeah, and I saw that got kiboshed.
Oh dude, yeah. Like it was the entire opinion section was just people writing in. And you're talking about the selling sunset, like did you drive the Bentley? There's like so many people writing in, be like, I don't drink. I'm not a drinker. I've never had a beer. But let me tell you what a stupid fucking piece of shit idea this is and why I hate it so much.
And you know what's funny is like the thing that with that is I was like, everybody already drinks in public anyway. Like,
yeah,
when I go on my nightly walk with my children, it sounds like a very wholesome family event. Like 50% of the time, I take a beer with me. I'm not even joking. I'll sit at that
grab a
fucking park.
cold can and push a random kid.
When that kid fell off the swing, I was running at like a 0.13.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for tuning in, everybody. We love you.
Have a good one. Bye.
Join us for the next episode as the guys debate whether they would rather make love to Hulk Hogan's upper body with their wife's lower body or their wife's upper body with Hulk Hogan's lower body.